welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I achieve this very easy and quick vertical ombre with this beautiful cotton candy pearlescent style color. And we have this beautiful bling, these crystal lights, they just match so perfectly. Just cuticle bling, full bling. It's like more of a traditional set, if you could call that. If you could call it that. It's the new French. So this is my client's previous set, and she had this set. She usually goes between like 4 and 5 weeks between appointments. If you you may recall that this set I posted last year, and I had originally in another video, I believe it was the opal video. If you haven't checked that out, of course, check that out. I did a really good opal. I was really happy with it. It really wasn't all me. I encapsulated real opal in the nails, but definitely check that out. Anyways, so I did this set a long time ago. I said all that to say that. So it's not recent. This client's nails are really, really long now because this was from last year. So I went in with a speedy bit from Light Elegance. You can use like the mint green bit from Atwood. This would be, this is their Cutie Patootie bit, and you can use like the prep bit from Atwood Industries. If you can't access the Light Elegance website, to give you guys some alternatives. This bit is a diamond bit. You can use it both ways if you'd like, forward and backwards, because it doesn't have any flutes or teeth or anything. So you can use it both ways. It's not my favorite bit to use both ways. So I don't think you have as much control with it, but a bit like this, I definitely would use both ways depending on you or your client's cuticle growth and how difficult or stubborn it's being. And this bit is the itty bitty bit. It's also a diamond bit from Atwood Industries. You could get like their skiver bit. It'd be very, very similar. It's a little bit shorter. It doesn't come to as fine a point, but it functions very, very similar. So definitely recommend. I use it for a good while of time in my nail career. So we're holding this as flush to the nail as possible so that we don't create any rings or anything. So after we got all the cuticle off, we cleansed, dehydrated, and now I'm applying Air Bond. Air Bond works with moisture to cure. So it uses moisture for good. So I like to apply that for certain clients, just depending on their job, what they do, and sometimes just as insurance, just to make sure, you know, we just have more protection, just double up. So I went ahead and applied that, and now I'm using a product that I no longer use. The product I use for the base and the product that I use to build this, I no longer use. So I use the rubber base from Gel Bottle Ink and the nude gel pot. This is at number 5, which I actually really enjoy this color. It's really neutral, but not really a flesh tone neutral. But I really enjoy it. It makes for a good neutral base underneath colors and various things. So I actually appreciate it color-wise. So with this application, this product was a little more viscous, well, runny, thinner. You see I'm trying to catch it. So I realized I need to work with it a little differently, a little faster. I'm going in and applying a slip layer. As you can see, I'm polishing this on as close as possible. I know it's a little bit blurry, but you can see we're trying to get as close to the skin without touching it. We're taking a bigger bead. You see that little line between the skin and the product? That's what we're trying to achieve. Now, what's going to happen is that my client is going to slightly hold her hand to the right because that's our natural wrist resting position. So she's going to naturally kind of hold it over to the right. So when I go to file, I'll have to work on removing gel off of the right side of a few of her nails and off the left side of her opposing hand. So make sure yourself or your client knows that they need to hold their hand flat. Not how it naturally goes flat with a slight tilt. If you look at your hand, you'll see that your right hand will slightly turn to the right. We need for it to lay literal flat if we can, because gel just works with gravity. So if you lean it to the right, the product's gonna move to the right. I digress. So I shaped off camera, but as you can see with the shape, we went ahead and narrowed this down and brought it to a little bit more of a point than it was before. Again, this client usually goes 4 to 5 weeks. So the shape that she originally had was much shorter, was more appropriate. It wasn't as rounded. I mean, it was, but of course, it's been a few weeks. It kind of dulled out a little bit. But now her nails are in a longer state that can hold that point a little bit more, making it, kind of a little bit more of a pointier almond shape. So I went ahead and adjusted that, brought those sides in so our nails didn't have hips or anything. And so I'm just using a carbide bit to kind of smooth this out. The texture that this gel cured to, I felt like the cross cut would have kind of been weird to use initially. So I just used it, I mean, as I normally do, to kind of smooth around the cuticle area, kind of make that more flush, and then leave the surface textured and ready for gel polish application. So as I mentioned, my client held her hand over so you can see her right side, which looks, on her left side. I had separated the product from touching her skin. It comes off pretty easily. There's not a super lot there. And then I'll go in with that bit. That is the prep bit from Elegance. It is a carbide style bit. So I separate that and take down the actual product. Separate it from the skin, take down the actual product. That little lip it leaves behind. So we no longer have product touching the skin and we remove our risk for lifting. Now it's a very extreme case. We don't want to flood the cuticle and use that as a way to clean up our cuticle area at all. But it is a troubleshooting little thing that I use when we do have those instances, because it does happen. We like to refrain from that, but a part of it is, again, client education. So I will take some blame for that. I should have double checked with her and her hand. This is probably around the time, well, not probably, it's around the time that I started back taking clients. So it had been a while. Just getting back in the groove. So that's just a, behind the scenes kind of recommendation. So as you can see, I'm using that crosscut bit, and that's a diamond bit. It's essentially like the metal reusable, disinfectable version of a sanding band, if you will. So it leaves just that rough kind of texture we need for our polish or top coat to adhere, but simultaneously we're smoothing out and refining any lumps and bumps. So we don't want the surface to, be a whole bunch of hills and valleys, but we do want it texturally just a little bit rough, so our gel will adhere to it. So now for the colors. This color is from Gel Bottle Ink, and this color is Fiji. Definitely still will use this color, and along with Flamingo. Flamingo is a very popular color for me, like on Instagram. Anytime I posted it, the Instagram would just go crazy. So I was happy to be able to incorporate it in this set. So I'm just going to be doing a vertical ombre, just like I normally would. It just is a little bit easier with these gel polish colors because they have that pearlescent kind of duochrome effect. So they blend very easily. And so I'm just going back and forth with this vertical ombre. I'm doing pink on the left, purple on the right, then on the next nail, flipping that around so it kind of looks like it fades in and out of each other. Now these are very similar in their pearlescent finish, like I mentioned. So it's not too dramatic or outspoken of a vertical ombre, but you definitely notice it. It's a subtle little, little pizzazz. So I'm just going in with a second layer and doing that same thing. I'm applying color to the left, to the right, and through the middle, just kind of blending it. But again, they blend very easily. They're very similar in tone to each other, similar like vibrancy, like depth of color, kind of pastel-y in a way. And again, with that same little pearl shimmer mixed in, so that absolutely blends perfectly. So I'm just working on that second coat, making sure that pink blends smoothly with that purple. But honestly, it comes together so easily with very little effort, making this set super quick. So under the bling nail, I didn't mention, I've just applied both colors just to get both undertones. And honestly, at the end of the day, you don't really notice much. But just to make sure both tones are represented in there, I guess. I just couldn't decide, so I just decided to do both. So just again with that second coat, this would probably be really cute matte as well. Be more, a little bit more understated. That pearl finish would look a little bit different, like a frosty metallic type look in a way, but definitely worth checking out. This color, I forgot what it is called and I didn't show it on camera. It's from the Gel Bottle ink. The brush is janky, but the color is cute. I always like to apply some type of glitter that kind of coordinates under my full bling nails, just so in between the spaces where the crystals fit, we're seeing something that sparkles, catches the light, and also catches the eye. So after I polish that on, I'm just gonna buff it. So again, we have a buff surface to adhere whatever we want onto it. So now I'm using the Lotus Pink Delights and Crystal AB. And these crystals are from Blue Street Crystals, bluestreetcrystals.com. There's a link in the description bar. You can use discount code Tabytha with the number 5. And Blue Streak has high quality glass crystals with the cuts we've come to know and love, and they are from Austria. So I definitely recommend that you shop with them. It's their Serenity crystals from Blue Streak. It's their in-house brand, again, of their high quality glass crystals from Austria. So we have those beautiful 16 cuts in those, and if you're interested in, you know, finding the colors again we've also come to know and love, I would definitely check that out with Blue Streak. So I'm going ahead and when I can mix a full bling nail with Crystal AB, I normally would, or clear, just because it's easier in those two colors to find the small SS3 crystals, which are very small, up to very large. Now, generally speaking, for full bling nails, unless it's an aesthetic choice, I usually don't go higher than like a 12 or 16 as far as the sizes, just depending on the length of the nail, again, what we're trying to do. So I like a variety in order to mix in to fit these different tight spaces, because our Lotus Pink Delight crystals don't come in as many sizes, and for sure not as many smaller sizes. So I just have this one size that I'm trying to kind of mix and blend in. So I have to scatter them around the nail kind of evenly. Not evenly, but make sure we just don't plop, you know, 3 of them down the center. I mean, unless that's what we're going for, which I wasn't. And I'm semi kind of mad because I still kind of made like a pattern and I didn't really intend to. I wanted it to kind of just randomly place throughout it. And it ends up looking like a flower, like a star or something like that. I mean, which works. That's fine. But I don't want you to think that I'm not good at it. I planned it out. I just randomly happened to do it because I just wanted those to be evenly kind of spaced through and scattered through. I wish I could have added, you know, 1 or 2 more closer to the actual tip, but they're just too big to fit that low down onto the nail. So I'm just fitting in these stones how I can. Kind of did the opposite here. I usually work with almond and stiletto shapes from the tip up. So I went a little backwards here, and I don't know that it served me too poorly. But I was really trying to make sure that I fit in those Lotus Delight colors just because they matched that flamingo and Fiji from the Gel Bottle ink so well. And of course, that Crystal AB goes with most things, except I don't like Crystal AB with black or red. Comment down below, like, have you noticed that? Do you have a beef with it? Like, red to me just doesn't look right with it, because red doesn't appear in it at all, which it doesn't have to be, but it doesn't do it for me. And neither does black for the most part. It just, Yeah, it doesn't do it for me. Anyways, so this nail I decided just to add a little cuticle bling situation. So I buffed it just so we had that rough surface, get a little dust off, and then I'm gonna apply. I just want another opportunity to apply that Lotus Pink Delight just because it goes so well. If you look at the back of the crystals, it looks very much like a different color pink, but with that Delight effect, it really goes pretty good. It has a little more like yellow saturation to it, like an undertone to it, especially if you see that bling nail in the background in the right corner of our screen. You can kind of see more orange tone to it, but I don't think it gets in the way of what the overall look is and how it matches these other nails, just because they can have a little bit of a warm undertone, especially that shimmer look, depending on how the light hits it. So I think it really goes well. So now, like I said, I'm just doing a cuticle bling situation, that Lotus Pink in the center, and I'm just using symmetry the best that I have to kind of balance left from right. I generally go ahead and flip the hand over to make sure it's nice and as even as possible. So I clipped that out because there wasn't much to show, but yeah, I flipped the hand over just to check it from all angles. So I seal in the crystals with top coat. I'm doing a glue activator, which is like the dip activator, just to make sure those crystals, that glue is dry with them. So that's a little hot tip. So I sealed around the crystals and in between those bling nails with top coat. Use a fine brush, but there was not much exciting to that. That's what I always do. Never top coat on top of your crystals. But this is our final look. Like I said, it's very simple, easy to achieve. It's just those gel polish colors are very impactful. That blue shift that they have, that those crystals have, along with the multicolor kind of pink and purple tones that the Swarovski AB picks up anyways, it just goes very well. Like I said, it's very easy. It's not anything spectacular. We just have a full bling nail with cuticle bling, but it's good, right? Like it's always good. So let's put a pink and purple heart emoji. You know the deal. I give you beautiful content and you just give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and an emoji. That's how we balance the relationship here. So don't forget to go ahead in the comments, leave that and let me know what you feel about these colors, any memories. I know a lot of people like old school nail shop. Is the color cotton candy? It has like that similar type shift to it. So that's why I call them like cotton candy nails. But I really love this vertical ombre. They're very, light, kind of whimsical, but again, just fairly simple. So I definitely recommend you try a look. Doesn't have to be those exact colors, but a similar concept like a pearlescent type color would work beautifully. Daily Charm just released a new like shell pearlescent set. I definitely recommend you check those out. They're more kind of like toppers, but stand on their own. Anyways, check them out. There's a link to shop and you can use my discount code of Tabytha10. So, look at that bling. You guys, also don't forget to check out my Patreon for more exclusive content, and I have more slots for monthly one-on-one calls if you're looking for virtual lessons and you can't come in person for classes. Definitely check that out. So there's a link in the description bar for that. Thank you for watching. Bye.